Hey everybody, Justin here from Sorcerer. I'm going to be answering a few questions that we asked to be submitted for Q for Sorcerer. So without further ado, here we go. First question comes from my brother from another mother, Carl Frederick, over in the United States. He's our unofficial sixth member, flag waver and backing vocals. He made an appearance with us at Prog Power 2019. So if you haven't seen that, there should be a video of us playing the song The Sorcerer, and Carl and our friend Andy are actually waving flags and singing along with us, so go check that out. Anyways, Carl asks, with all of the big name untimely deaths in music, if you could organize and play bass in a band of fallen heroes, who would you have in that band? Well, I would likely have Dio on vocals, just because it's Dio and he's the man when it comes to heavy metal. Cozy Powell on drums, and why not Eddie Van Halen on the guitar? And maybe for backing vocals and a secondary guitar, I would pick David Bowie. It'd be kind of cool to see how Bowie and Dio would get along on stage, and who would take the different harmonies and stuff, so it'd be interesting. So yeah, that's who I would have in that band. Got a question from our friend Benny Zurita in Mexico. He asks, if Justin had to go to any other band that was not in Sweden, what band would it be and why? Kind of a tough question, but I really love Behemoth. So if Nurgle would take me on as a bass player for a tour, I would be more than happy to do it. I love that band, and I love what they're doing. Their last two records, The Satanist and I Loved You at Your Darkest, are brilliant. So that would definitely be a band that I would love to just kind of do a tour with and have a lot of fun with. So yeah, Behemoth. Yeah, just some sort of death metal bands, really. I love death metal. So. But yeah, I'll just go with Behemoth. That's what I've been listening to a lot lately, and yeah, I would definitely throw the corpse paint on, play some bass, and just have some fun. Third question here, also about joining another band. This one isn't limited to bands outside of Sweden, but John Nocter from Ireland asks, other than Sorcerer, what band, if they offered, would you love to be in? Yeah, I mean, there's so many great bands in Sweden. Bands like Opeth, In Flames, Dark Tranquility, At the Gates, The Haunted, you name it. There's just a myriad of bands that are here in Sweden. So I would definitely jump on board with a Swedish bands in the heavy metal, death metal areas, or prog metal, I guess you would say. So yeah, I would have a lot of fun with that. Not really any specific ones. I kind of like being in Sorcerer, so yeah, I mean, I would be humbled if one of those big name bands like Opeth or someone asked me to play. That would be an honor, of course. So, but I'm quite happy in Sorcerer. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think there's going to be anybody beating on my door in the near future. So yeah, that's it. Last question. This is actually from Anna Luisa in Italy, and it was a really interesting question, to be honest. What kind of books, genres, and authors do you prefer? And is there any book that has had a particular impact on you throughout life? Yeah, I love reading old classics. I've just burned through the Iliad by Homer and the Odyssey, Paradise Lost by John Milton, and going in on that, this great stuff like that. My favorite book of all time, the best book in my opinion, is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Love that book. Lots of John Milton references. If you haven't read Paradise Lost, I would recommend it. It's a brilliant poem, epic poem of great proportions. So yeah, just the downfall of Satan, Garden of Eden, stuff like that. And Frankenstein kind of, yeah, I don't know, it always stuck with me. It's like this whole wanting to create something for the greater good, and you yourself end up becoming the monster, and the hideous abomination in turn also transcends his role into a loving creature who just wants to be loved. And yeah, I just think it's a brilliant book, and not to mention the book was written on a dare. way back when, and yeah, I think Mary Shelley did it brilliantly. Like, lots of references, like I said, to John Milton and old Greek tragedies like Prometheus and stuff like that. So yeah, that's got to be my favorite book of all time. And I mean, I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy stuff as well. Like, you know, I grew up reading books like The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. I've also read like Do Androids Dream of Robot Sheep, which would be Blade Runner, of course. So yeah, I mean, just a mixed bag of weird books, but yeah, I normally go with the classics. So Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, best book ever, had a huge impact on me, and yeah, just really kind of inspires me to write lyrics and stuff like that, like some of the ones that I wrote on Lamenting of the Innocent. So that's where I go to find my happy place, is Frankenstein.